Hey. Hello everyone, welcome. Monday, April 7th. This is a Zen Buddhism and Meditation class. Is there anyone, my name's Mark, is there anyone new, first time at the Zen Temple? Welcome. What brings you here?
Zen Buddhism.
Good. You're in the right place. Okay. There is a Dharma recovery Dharma meeting downstairs. If that's what you're here for. Anyone else? First time? Okay. So is this anyone first time practicing with Zen meditation? No? Okay, and so welcome to everyone online. Feel free to say hi in the chat and make any comments or questions that you might have. So just a brief overview we'll do a 20-minute meditation, and then have about a 10-minute or so, depending on conversation, talk on a Zen topic, or Buddhist topic. And then another 15 or 20 minutes of meditation before we close. So with this meditation, with Zen meditation, as with most meditations, posture is one of the most important things to, whether you're sitting on a cushion or in a chair, to try to sit in a comfortable, upright, but not too rigid position. And your alignment you can move around a little bit, see what the right position is. If you're on a cushion, I don't know if you can see the way both feet are actually on the cushion, because sometimes when you have one foot on top of the other, or your foot or lower leg might tend to fall asleep. So kind of scoot up on the zafu, and then your knees and lower legs and feet are in contact with the cushion. Can help. Let's see. So the posture, you're just gazing forward. Typically in most Zen centers, they recommend the eyes slightly open. Not necessary, but give it a try. Hand postures, you can just have them in your lap. I typically do a cosmic mudra where my left palm is gently resting on my right palm, and my thumbs are just lightly touching, as if I could hold a piece of paper. So, breathing. It's helpful to start the meditation with a few deep, slow breaths. The other thing is your thoughts. Thoughts are going to arise. And so the idea is to not be judgmental of your meditation, whether you're doing a good meditation, bad meditation. Sometimes, we have what they call monkey minds, or racing thoughts and jumping around. Just try to go back to your breath. Let the thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. So that's about it. Anybody have any questions? So I'll keep track of the time, and ring the bell to start and to finish the 20 minutes. Okay? free to stretch, move about. I got a new cushion. It's a half moon cushion, and it's helping me with my legs, my feet not falling asleep. Alright, so we'll have a little topic here. I thought impermanence was a good topic. It's a good Zen topic. One of the core teachings, it's been said that it was the second teaching that the Buddha gave. His first teaching was on the Four Noble Truths. So there's a story about the Buddha was a prince, and he was protected from the outside world most of his childhood, and I don't know exactly what age, but he convinced, and this is the story, that he convinced one of the guards to take him outside the palace and show him around town, northern India at the time. And so he, like I said, he had been protected from the outside world and was just provided with everything. And he saw a sick person on the side of the road. And it was the first time he saw a sick person. And he asked, what's wrong with that guy? And he asked the guard, and the guard said, well, that's a sick person. People get sick, And so the Buddha was like, oh, okay. And then the next time he went out with the guard, they came upon somebody who was a real old, frail person. And the Buddha asked the guard again, what's wrong with that guy? The guard said, well, that's an old person. People get old and frail and just normal. And so the Buddha was, all right. And the third time they went out, there was a corpse on the side of the road. So the Buddha asked the guard. The guard said, well, that's a dead person. People die. And so the Buddha was amazed. And so that is part of the story about impermanence is in his awakening that that life is constantly changing, nothing is permanent, things are constantly in transition. So this is a great book by Ben Conley, who's a Buddhist priest in Minnesota. It's called Inside Vasubandhu's Yogacara. But he's talking about impermanence in this section. And so part of the 5 remembrances in Buddhism is this phrase that the Buddha, this is a paraphrase of what the Buddha's teaching was, that I am sure to become old, I cannot avoid aging. I am sure to become ill, I cannot avoid illness. I am sure to die, I cannot avoid death. I will be parted from all that is dear and beloved to me. And then the last one, number 5, actions are my possessions. Actions are my protection. Actions are the womb from which I have sprung. I am heir of my actions. As I do, so shall I become. So that last sentence there about actions is basically regarding karma, and that all we really have control over are our actions. We don't have control over aging, illness, death, or the, illness or death of those we love. And that was a couple things I found in, let's see here. An article by, Lion's Roar is a really great Buddhist online journal. They have it in print also, but there's an article by Norman Fisher, 14 August of 2024 in Lion's Roar, on impermanence as Buddha nature. And he was an abbot at the San Francisco Zen Center back in the 80s or 90s. And basically he was saying that all that exists is impermanent. Nothing lasts. Nothing can be grasped or held onto. When we don't appreciate this truth, we suffer. So the suffering comes about from clinging to, how often in our society or anywhere do people focus on, death and dying? It's kind of like people get sick, they get, they're at home alone or with their family, or, kind of like it's hospice is kind of opening death and dying up more, I believe. But it's not something that a lot of people like to even think about, Myself included, I've been meaning to, I have good intentions to do a will, and I'm planning on doing it, but it's one of those things that it's like, I'm going to do it later, not because right now I'm busy. I got to go walk my dogs. I got to whatever, this and this, but I'm going to do it. It's on my to-do list. So, which at least that's better than most people. I talk to people who are like, I'm like, do you have any plans? We're like, well, what do you want for your funeral? Or, nope, not interested. I'll let my family deal with that. So it's the suffering is our clinging to not wanting things to end. We don't want the relationship to end. We don't want that ice cream cone to end. Like grasping on to clinging to what we like and want, and pushing away the hindrances, things that we don't want. But the nice thing is that even though some of the good things don't last, typically a lot of the bad things don't last either, whether it's, our thoughts, hopefully the stock market. Let's see, what else here? So Dogen Zenji was a Zen master in Japan in the 1200s, and he brought Zen from China to Japan. He wrote, "Impermanence is itself Buddha nature. Impermanence is a path." So, meditate on that for a little bit. Impermanence is the path, not a problem to overcome. Practice is the way to fully appreciate and live it. If you want to understand Buddha nature, Dogen writes, you should intimately observe cause and effect over time. When the time is right, Buddha nature manifests. Practice is a way of fully embracing and appreciating conditions, especially impermanence and loss. And then talk a little bit about, we have a false notion of permanence, even though deep in our hearts we know it's untrue. Every loss has deepened his ability to love. So, the way I interpret this, if anybody has any other comments, when he says, if you want to understand that impermanence is itself Buddha nature, that it's the path, I don't know, to me that it is what it is. It's just the reality. And that's Zen. Just right here, right now, thusness, suchness, just this is it. So, and being present with what is. Does anybody have any comments, questions regarding that heavy topic? Yes.
So I think it's quite common for us to experience aversion when it comes to loss, and particularly with relationships, that it can really constrict rather than deepen our ability to love. And so that was really striking for me, because I think that quite often loss actually makes it harder for us to love. It's scarier, or can be anyway. And that if you do approach the path as impermanence, or impermanence as being the path, then I can see, that makes sense. I can put that together.
Right.
But it's wow, this really hard.
Right. In the moment,
Mm-hmm.
That loss is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Zen is saying not to feel the loss and the hurt and the pain, but to sit with it, as Thich Nhat Hanh would say, to embrace it, to be compassionate towards yourself with your loss. Mm-hmm. And he also mentions about how special and precious it is that we have this practice, that we can even have the awareness or awakening to pain and suffering. And I know myself, have struggled in the past, and just clung on to things, with not that I have nails, but, if I did, it'd be and by at least having a practice, there's sometimes at least little openings that it, okay, all right, I'll sit with that and be with it. A little bit more equanimity in my life. Any other comments or questions? No? All right, well, let's see here. We'll sit for another 15 minutes or so. before Meredith comes up, I will say a closing here. And since the topic was impermanence, I thought I would share this closing called the Evening Gatha. And it's typically read in the evening at Zen centers and monasteries. And it's usually like in a real serious voice by one of the monks. Let me respectfully remind you, life and death are of supreme importance. Time swiftly passes and opportunity is lost. Each of us must strive to awaken. Awaken! This night your days will be diminished by one. Take heed. Do not squander your life. So, thanks for coming. Meredith, it's all yours. Meredith have some announcements.
Hi everybody, tonight's host Meredith. We opened the Dharma Bum Temple 18 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice. Every night we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recovery sangha that meets several times a week for anyone with addiction, and our food redistribution program meets every Thursday at 4:30. We have classes and programs every day, and everything we offer here is always free. The full schedule is on our website and posted in the entryway above the shoe rack. We have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow it and then bring it back whenever you're done with it. Please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out. Thank you for being here. We wish you well, and we hope to see you again soon.